When you scroll through Gazans restaurants on social media, you see a lot of chocolate. To be precise, Nutella. Tons of Nutella. It's a real phenomenon. Everything I'm showing you here was filmed in Gaza in the past few days. This isn't AI, it is all real. And if you don't believe me, great. Don't believe a single word I say. All the links to the restaurants will be in the description below the video, and I invite you to check for yourselves. This video is not about restaurants in Gaza. I already made one about that, but just a few small examples. Look at this supermarket and Panda Mall. On September 1st, Nutella Cafe opened in Gaza. Take a look.
وسلم فصلوا على خير البشر اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد رسولنا النبي الأمي المبعوث رحمة للعالمين.
And this is what's going on inside, all from the beginning of September 2025. It is not just one or two cafes. Look at Vanilla Cafe and Gaza Cafe. I will leave more links in the description. But today's topic isn't Nutella cafes, it is genocide. Just a few days ago, on September 1st, the same day the Nutella store opened in Gaza, headlines around the world said Israel is committing genocide. Look, the Washington Post, Israel is committing a genocide, leading scholars association says. The Guardian, Israel is committing genocide in Gaza, world's top scholars on the crime say. BBC, Israel committing genocide in Gaza, world's leading experts say. First of all, it is a little odd that in every paper the headlines is identical. Smells like someone was too lazy to do real journalism, like copy-paste journalism. But here is the bigger question. Why should you believe me, a 43-year-old Israeli YouTuber who looks pretty good for his age, instead of serious newspapers? Good question. And not only that, they all rely on experts. Here is what it says. The world's leading Genocide Scholars Association has backed a resolution stating that Israel's action in Gaza meet the legal definition for the crime. Out of the International Association of Genocide Scholars, 500 members, 28% took part in the vote. Of those who voted, 86 supported the resolution. The International Genocide Association says Israel is committing genocide. You know who can join the International Association of Genocide Scholars? Anyone who wants to. Just pay a membership fee. That's it. The ones who uncovered this were honest reporting. They even showed how easy it is to become a member of this International Genocide Association. Meanwhile, for 2 years, every picture you see from Gaza in the press is Hamas approved. Just a month ago, the New York Times was caught publishing famine photos that turn out to be kids with genetic diseases. Why? Because when 40% of people marry their cousins, you get genetic illnesses, not famine. Notice what you don't see in those papers. The cafes, the malls, the desserts. None of it. And much of what is shown about the war? Fake. Remember that mother begging for donations where the scars magically switch from her child's face to her own? A glitch in the matrix. Do you think in Yemen or Sudan, where there really is famine, people have Nutella cafes, iPhones, electricity, and time to make fake TikToks? I doubt it. Before this video, you've never even heard of the International Genocide Association. Let's talk about names you have heard of. Amnesty International and the UN. Sound serious, right? Let me prove otherwise. A month ago, my wife turned 40 and we flew to London. Since we are cool, we did a graffiti tour in Shoreditch. During the tour, we walked past Amnesty International's building. On their website, they write, "We campaign for a world where human rights are enjoyed by all." Amnesty International is a global movement of more than 10 million people in over 150 countries and territories who campaign to end abuse of human rights. Beautiful words, but the sign they had inside their window said, "Ban Israeli settlement goods." Nothing about Syria, nothing about Yemen, nothing about Sudan, nothing about Congo, nothing about Ethiopia. Just boycott Israel. This is from an organization that pretends to be international. In many of my videos, I criticize the obsession Tucker Carlson, Piers Morgan, Candace Owens, Theo Von, and the media in general have with Israel. But in a way, I get it. Imagine if Piers Morgan or Candace Owens spent a show on Sudan or Yemen, where the death toll is 10 times higher than Gaza. How many views would that get? About zero. And the media lives of views. No Jews, no views. No views, no money. But human rights groups aren't supposed to be chasing views. They're supposed to focus on real crisis. So I ask, how many people need to die in Sudan or Yemen before they get a sign on the window? 1 million, 5 million, 10? On another window, Amnesty has a slogan, woman, life, freedom, in English and Arabic. Honestly, the first association I had was those meaningless signs people hang at home. Kitchen. Oh good, thanks for the sign. I thought it was a bathroom. But that was just my thought. But if you really cared, you would talk about honor killings, forced child marriage, girls have their cut, problems inside the Muslim world. But Amnesty won't touch that. Above their door is a neon sign read, "Humanity wins." Better to change it to "Hypocrisy wins" or just "We hate Israel." Short, catchy, accurate. Amnesty also put a report on Israel. No need to analyze it. We already know what it will say. In fact, you can know everything from the very first sentence. On 7th October 23, Israel embarked on a military offensive on the occupied Gaza Strip. Funny, I thought it was on October 7th that the Arabs from Gaza launched a war. But Amnesty is just a side dish. The main course is the UN. The UN also just released a report against Israel, accusing it of famine and genocide. The author, Dr. Andy Seal, senior lecturer at University College London. The problem? Back on October 28, 2023, just one day after the IDF entered Gaza, he was already using the hashtag Gaza Genocide. And that's not the only case. He slammed his own country for bombing the Houthis and claimed the Houthis in Yemen are helping to prevent genocide in Gaza. He wrote that in January 24. Seriously, you can't make this stuff up. He decided at the very start of the war that Israel was committing genocide, and he supported the Houthis. The Houthis, whose slogan is "Death to America, death to Israel, curse the Jews." It's insane that someone like this even teaches in London. If you hate your country so much and think Yemen is a beacon of human rights, go teach there. And if someone like this is writing UN reports about Gaza, you already know what it will say. The triangle of media, academia, and international organizations is a self-feeding ecosystem that has nothing to do with objectivity or reality. They project authority, but the moment you dig deeper, it collapses into emptiness. And the craziest part, the UN has two refugee agencies. One for the entire world, UNHCR, and UNRWA, just for Palestinians, with their own special definition of refugee. Unlike every other refugee population, Palestinians pass their refugee status to their kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, and so on. That's why the numbers only grow. Just to understand the absurdity, in 1948, there were tens of millions of refugees worldwide. 14 million Hindu and Muslims swapped between India and Pakistan. 14 million Germans, 1 million Poles, 1 million Ukrainians, 800,000 Jews from Arab countries, and 700,000 Arabs who lost the war they started against Israel. And all of these tens of millions of people, their kids and grandkids, are no longer refugees. Germans, Indians, Poles, they all moved on. For most people in the world, someone in their family had to leave home due to war or disaster in the past 80 years. But only the Palestinians are still refugees 80 years later, including their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and so on. And they get more money from the UN than real refugees in Yemen or Sudan. If that's not madness, I don't know what is. Don't let them fool you. And don't eat too much Nutella. It is not really chocolate and it is full of sugar. Give this video a like, leave a comment, and share it with good, honest people who somehow still take the UN or Amnesty International or The Guardian or the Washington Post seriously. The next video will be about Western Europe. They had a choice, mass immigration or Jewish community security. They chose wrong, and now they are starting to pay the price. That's going to be an interesting one. So subscribe and hit the bell. I want to thank all my supporters. It is all thanks to you. And thanks to your support, I've been able to launch channels in more languages. See you in the next video. Yalla bye.
يا مع النوتيلا